Welcome to Secure Money Mindset, the ultimate podcast for financial planning tips and strategies. Our episodes are designed to be concise and to the point, lasting no more than 30 minutes. Each episode features seasoned advisors from Secure Planning Group or an outside financial specialist discussing crucial issues and providing actions to consider when addressing your top financial concerns. We value honesty and transparency, meaning we present both the good and the bad news in a clear and concise manner. Our goal is to provide you with reliable insights and practical guidance. Be sure to hit the follow button to stay up to date with our latest episodes. For more information, please visit our website at securepg.net. Let's dive into this week's episode of Secure Money Mindset.
Welcome to Secure Money Mindset. I'm Isabelle, and this is Nate, a financial advisor here at Secure Planning Group. And in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about adulting 101 and life insurance. Do you think life insurance is boring, expensive, or only for people with kids and a mortgage? Well, think again. In this episode, we're going to explore the intersection of life insurance and modern adulting, whether in your 20s, 30s, 40s, beyond, single or in a relationship, or somewhere in between. This session will explain life insurance. So starting off, Nate, let's debunk some of these life insurance myths. Starting off with life insurance is too expensive.
This is one I feel like I hear a good bit, and it might be coming from a good place. They might have heard certain quotes or prices from life insurance, maybe from themselves, maybe from a trusted friend or family member, but the truth is it's pretty cheap for most people. If they're looking at term insurance, it might cost no more than their monthly Starbucks bill or their monthly streaming bill. So it actually could be a lot less expensive than you think. And also, depending on your coverage needs and budget, there could be something that fits for most people, which is great.
Okay, that's a good thing to know.
Mm-hmm.
So second, I have coverage through work, so I'm good.
Yeah, and this is another one I hear a pretty good amount too.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that might be the case. We've had clients that we've recommended that they use more of their work coverage just because it was more cost effective for them for their health situation, for their budget situation, whatever it was. But for a good majority of people, your work coverage might not be providing you enough coverage for what you need. It also might be more expensive because the group coverage is based on the group rate versus your individual rate. So there are some perks to having an individually owned policy, and it's worth having a conversation to see which one of those two camps that you fall into.
Yeah. So I'm sure you hear this a lot, but for the younger people saying, I'll just get life insurance when I'm older, have kids.
Yep. For those people, I would encourage you to consider that life insurance does get more expensive as you get older. So even if you're thinking about having kids, you're thinking about getting married, you're thinking about a mortgage someday, whatever it is, it's worth thinking about right now because it's never going to be cheaper than it is today. Sorry to break it to everybody, but you're not getting younger.
As much as we wish we were.
As much as we wish we were, but we're not.
Okay, so about anybody, any age, they say, no kids, I don't need life insurance. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, and this ties into that other one previously, but I also want to tie in the fact that life insurance isn't just for married couples. It could be for business owners. I know you said no kids, no need, but also it could be used for kids who have co-signed student loans and they don't want to burden their parents with the debt if they were to pass away, if they have private student loans that are co-signed. So just because you don't have kids doesn't mean that there's not a life insurance need there. So for people who are business partners with somebody, worth having the conversation. And yeah, for people with co-signed student loans, that's another group, some examples to think about.
So one final myth I have here is my spouse has it, so I don't need it.
Yeah, and this one comes up a lot when I'm having discussions with couples, and it typically goes like this. The breadwinner in the family will say, oh, I have life insurance, my spouse doesn't need it. And maybe their spouse just doesn't make as much money as them, or their spouse is a stay-at-home parent, whatever it might be. You got to think about what the situation would be if they pass away. Are they the primary caretaker of the kids? Are they staying home all day? Are they the ones taking them to and from daycare if you do use a daycare? Whatever it might be, think about that situation because, yeah, you might be earning a good amount of money right now, but maybe if your spouse passed away, you'd have to hire a nanny. You'd have to use a daycare. Um, or maybe you'd have to cut back on your own work hours. So having the proceeds from life insurance could help you in that awfully tragic situation. I know I'm speaking about these things like very candidly, but it truthfully is a hard situation. We've unfortunately seen people go through it. So in that hard season of life that we hope frankly never comes, it's good to think about what would happen in that case. That it would smooth it out a lot more if you had life insurance to be able to pay for some of those things.
Thank you for debunking those myths, Nate.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Let's get into it now. Why should we get life insurance?
For all the reasons I previously mentioned, but the real base of it is that it's a foundational piece of your financial plan. A lot of people, when they hear financial planning, they think it's all about investment management. They think it's all about money. They have these different thoughts about it, but a lot of it is looking at your whole financial picture and looking at your goals. And it's going to be hard to meet your goals if you don't have the money there to provide for those, whether it's retirement, paying off your mortgage, sending your kids to college. So whether you're alive or you're not alive, it's really a good base for a solid financial plan. So that's why you should be considering it.
So for the person who knows nothing about life insurance, let's kind of go through the life insurance basics, starting off with like the types of policies.
Yeah, so like I had previously mentioned, term is going to be the least expensive option. And term insurance is a type of policy that only lasts for a certain amount of time, whether that be 20 years or 30 years or whatever it might be for your specific situation. Everybody's different. But a term insurance policy only lasts for a certain amount of time. And once that time has gone away, you don't have the policy anymore. So that makes it much more cost effective for a lot of people. And then there is also permanent life insurance. These are designed to last the rest of your life and also have some cool components such as there can be cash value built up in the policy that you can take out tax-free. You can put a long-term care rider on it. There's a lot of different things you can do with permanent life insurance, but since it's designed to last the rest of your life, it's going to be much more expensive. So those are the two broad overview of the two main types.
Okay, thank you. And how would someone determine the right amount of coverage for themselves?
That's a great question because no two people, no two families, no two situations are the same. So you want to make sure that you're looking at your budget, making sure that you have a number in mind of how much you want to spend on this, and you're juxtaposing that with this is the amount of coverage we need. So you could get a recommendation for an amount of coverage, but if your budget's not there, finding some number in the middle that you're comfortable with, because no two situations are the same. So having that conversation, helping determine a budget and a coverage amount is really important.
Can you explain what goes into building a policy?
Yeah, so I like to look at it as two sides to a coin when I'm having the conversation with somebody. The first side of the coin is your health. How much is this going to cost you? And then once you see what it might likely cost someone, then you help them determine this is how much coverage that you'll need as well. So looking at how much debt you have, whether that be loans or a mortgage, stuff like that, how much income and expenses that your family needs on a monthly basis, as well as what is it for? Like maybe you have kids and you want to make sure that their college is paid for if you pass away. So having conversations with people about what's important to them to make sure that's covered is really paramount. And then you're talking about that with their budget too, to make sure what they're hoping to cover would hopefully be covered by the policy in case of an unfortunate circumstance.
Okay, great. Thank you for explaining. So Nate, do you want to talk about how a financial planner can help facilitate this conversation?
Yeah. So as I had mentioned, talking about your goals with a financial planner is really important, and they can help make a recommendation on how much coverage that you should be getting. So having that conversation with your financial planner is so crucial because they know your goals. They know what you're trying to do. So helping to put your goals together with a policy that suits your needs is really a place that you want to be.
Okay, thank you. So let's talk quickly about dating and life insurance, the surprising link here, kind of touching on our next week's podcast.
Mhm. So it seems so provocative to say like dating and life insurance, like talking about it on the first date or something. But what we're going to be talking about in our next podcast is when you should be talking about financial planning topics with your significant other, and also what it looks like for maybe newly married couples to talk about budgeting, their goals and stuff like that. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, or maybe that you're in that situation or know somebody who is, it's going to be a really awesome conversation.
Yeah. All right. Well, Nate, do you have any key takeaways or one big thing that the listeners should take away from this conversation today?
Yeah, just having a conversation is really important, and also talking about your goals. Those are two really big things that I would encourage people to be thinking about. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much. We learned a lot of useful information, and I hope everyone listening learned something new today.
Yep. Thanks.
Thank you.